Welcome to Miss V, the Storyteller podcast. You guys, I'm so excited because I have another phenomenal woman on the podcast. I told you in season 4 that I was going to bring some amazing women on the show to share their story. Well, I have another one today. Her name is Suprena Hickman, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself. So, Suprena, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey there, Miss B, and hello everyone. Thank you for having me, by the way. I'm Suprena Hickman, your escape coach. I creatively build platforms for people to heal and thrive. I am a vocational school owner, and I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 25-ish years, and I now train people to become nurses on a lower level. So we start at CNAs because CNAs or nursing assistants are the foundation of nursing. So my goal is to help bring more professionalism, help decrease the burnout, and also help educate more people who are Black and Brown and pull them in my profession.
I love that. I love anyone that goes out and helps other people. And we do need nurses. We do need them because listen, I used to work at the hospital and people don't like to wait. And sometimes they have to wait because there's a shortage, the doctor's not there. So we need
Right.
you all. So you keep going out there and helping these people and get these nurses in the hospital so these people won't have to wait and go off with that
But
said,
more so to make sure that we have more people who look like us, who are representing our community, take care of us too. So
yeah,
it matters.
yeah,
Representation matters.
I agree wholeheartedly. Well,
Yeah.
you all know how I love stories and how I feel the importance of sharing our stories. You know, sometimes we want to hold stuff in our chest and not let it out. But sometimes you just sharing a simple story with someone can make their day, or it can help them, solve a problem or something that they're going through. So I love stories. I love when women come on and share their stories because we always find something in the story. We can connect with them in a way that we haven't before. So Sabrina is going to share a story with us and we're going to sit back and we're going to listen to her story. And let me tell you, she is amazing. So Sabrina, go ahead and share your story.
Well, I was born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina. So I like to say I'm certified Gullah Geechee woman. You don't hear my accent right now for those of you who listen and you know what it sounds like. Don't worry, that island language comes out when two or three touch and agree. So I was born and raised in Charleston, single family home. My mom was basically, head honcho in the house. And I was the youngest of six kids. Me and my brother, we were 7 years apart. Everyone else had already made it out of the house, but we were still in the pen. and we were still in the pen. But my brother, he had renal failure. So he had chronic renal disease and he was born that way. So he wasn't promised to live 1 year, and he ended up living 42 years. So my mom worked full time. She was a blue collar worker, just constantly involved in church and also working all her shifts. And I have fond memories of work going into these mansions, throughout Charleston and cleaning with her. My mom cleaned the colleges for a living. So my mom didn't have a lot of money, but she was very resourceful. In the meantime, my older siblings, mainly a couple of my sisters, they were married and they had kids. But what happens when they're working or they got really busy and there's no babysitter? I kind of got voluntold, so I was the certified babysitter of the family, it seemed like, So we always had a lot of kids because you're taking the kids to grandma's house, but technically you're taking them to Suprena and Suprena's watching them, And so my nieces and nephews, they were like clients back in the days, babysit them. But I learned early on how to manage a house or manage conflicts and how to create structure, how to be creative. um, being the person who had the kids during the daytime, especially during the summertime. My mom kept us busy, but it's expensive to have a bunch of kids, so it's cheaper to take them to grandma's house, but grandma's working. So again, it was me. So I noticed, and this is something that I always talk to people about, but that thing that we did all the time, I had to create structure. And what was the structure? School. So I played teacher. We played school, and I still remember some of the songs that we would sing, and exercises that I gave my nieces and nephews to do, summer camps, it was just things that we did. And I was creative with that. Then I have to prepare the meal and, take them on an outing or whatever it was. Change diapers too, because I had all different ages. So,
Wow.
doing all of that, learn how to do all of that before middle school, is something. But it's something that I can't undo. So those are skills, life skills that were needed, and I was able to utilize those still. Um, my brother, he was in and out of dialysis and also had multiple surgeries with renal disease. So you don't have a kidney, then that means you have to go to dialysis to have a machine to filter out for you. So can you imagine a child or growing up? My brother was 7 years older than I was, but having to go in and out of the doctor's office all the time or in and out of the hospital, having surgeries or having, whichever transplant, just different things. And he was a trooper. So, and he was still animated because we tore that house up during the daytime. We had wrestling matches, and so he literally lived a good life though. So because he got in trouble a lot of times, but I was the one who got in trouble for him because he was just not spankable. Go figure. So we tore the house up. We had wrestling matches. So that was creative because we literally put the 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 belt. So we had the belt that we would cut out of cardboard and design the belt. Like
What?
you're wrestling the WWF,
Oh, okay.
WWE. Yeah, so you have to fight. I grew up all my life. I had to fight. Honey, grew up fighting all the time. Because you want the championship. So but still he was no contact, so he was the referee or something, or he instigated a lot of things, or he was the Don King. That's what he did. And so in the meantime, after we finished with the fighting and have people coming over my mom's house, and we tore that house up, but we had to have it cleaned up by the time 3 o'clock came around because she was going to be coming around the bend, and we cleaned it up really good. So that was my childhood in the house, and try and pretend like nothing ever happened. I'm sure my mom figured out at some point. My mom recently passed away a few months ago, in April. And I talk about these things all the time. We laugh, but I said she always had an ear to something and eyes. And so I know she's just smiling when we talked about this. I used to play school here, and a nurse. And now here I am years later, 40 years later. I am actually a nurse. I own a school. I'm being very creative in my school and in the community, and just finding different ways of reaching the people who I know are assigned to me, or doing the works that God has given me to do. With every challenge that I have, I just overcome it because I'm persevering, because I know to keep my purpose greater than my problems. So that's why I keep pushing. That's the shortest version I can give you of where I am right now, because I know we're gonna dig in and talk about it. Maybe even the wrestling
Yes.
matches. I don't know. You
Well,
ain't know I was a fighter.
I love your story. And one of the things, as I was listening to your story, I realized that you and I have something in common growing up. But there was a difference. When I was growing up, I used to be a teacher and I taught school, but I didn't have any students. It was make believe because I was an introvert, very shy. So I remember when my parents separated, we moved to this apartment, and it was very different because we moved from a house where we had a backyard, we had all of those things, and we had cousins and relatives that lived all around us. So moving into an apartment was a shock to us. So we moved into this apartment, and so I'm trying to make friends. I'm being shy, and it didn't really work out. So my mom ended up moving to this house on the lake, and in the back we had it was a closed-in patio. That was my classroom. Now, I
Wow.
have siblings that's older than me. They would go outside and play because they weren't shy like me. And so I would get old papers that was around the house and I would hand them out and I would put them on the chair like they were the desk. I would stand up and I would teach my class to the kids. And I did that every day like I was going to work. And just like you said, what's amazing is I ended up being a school teacher. I taught pre-K, kindergarten, first and second grade. And it's amazing how you do something, as a child, and then as you become an adult, you're pretending, and now you're in the real world. It's like, oh my God. But the question that I have for you is, when you look back on those days of you teaching, the days when your brother was sick and all those days, what is a major lesson that you learned from all of that? If you had to look back and say, what was the major, because I'm sure you learned a lot, but what was a major thing that you learned from that experience?
I want to say the power of perseverance or just being resilient. Um, I I was raised in that environment, so it's what I know to do, and I've heard people saying, "Well, to me, why you're so strong, and I know you don't ever give up." I'm like, I give up every day, but every week, I quit, but it's only for like maybe 5 minutes, and I'm back at it again. It's like an addiction, but it's just what it is. I grew up seeing that with my mom. I grew up seeing that with my brother, and so they didn't complain about their woes, like things that my brother dealt with some heavy stuff, and then taking like a bag of medications every day that you needed to take to live. And he still was determined to live life and have fun. He joked, all that. So I just learn to not have my problems and lead with my problems. It
Mm.
just isn't that draining. You meet people, you say, "Hey, how you doing?" "Well, my back hurting, I just got the gout, I got notification, I had diagnosis with tonsils and it was inflamed and you telling us every single thing that's going on. You just lead with that. But what about all of the good things? Can you find any good that has happened? And I just found that when you can focus on those blessings that God has given us, those gifts that we have, we use that, it just makes the problems kind of diminish because we have way more blessings than we have problems, really. So I've just learned to persevere for that. It doesn't matter. You can be beating me down with a brick, but I'm like, well, I ain't dead yet. and if I get back up, oh boy, you better run.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
coming for you.
I love your answer, and something that you said. I used to hear this all the time, and I think I still hear it sometimes. Is people always tell me, "You're so strong." I remember when one of my favorite aunties, she was my heart. When she passed away, one of my other aunties said to me, she was like, "But you're strong. You can do this. You can." Because let me just tell y'all something. I don't like looking at dead bodies. So
Yeah,
I don't understand the whole thing about, the funeral and everybody at the front and you going to look at their spirit going
yeah,
on to heaven.
exactly.
I don't, that's something that I don't like,
I
but
am
I'm,
definitely there.
I'm
Yeah,
always told you so strong, you can do it. You so strong. I'm like, okay, just like you said, okay, I'm glad you see it because that's not how I feel. And I think oftentimes people see things in us that we don't see in ourselves because
right.
they kept saying you're so strong, and I kept hearing it and hearing it. And then I thought about it when I became an adult. I'm like, I had to be strong because some of the stuff that I went through, you had to be strong to
Yeah.
make it through all of that. But something else I wanted to ask you as I was listening to you. So I think I might know the answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Okay.
Who was your hero growing up? Did you have a hero And if you did, why was that person your hero? Now, if I'm wrong, I'm gonna tell you who I thought it was, but go ahead.
Okay, it's probably an obvious then. I'm mama's girl all day.
Yes, I thought it
Like,
was.
yeah, I'm mama's girl all day. So even when my mom's wrong, like I'll call you out and tell you you're wrong now, but I still love you. So where we going? We getting ready to go eat something now? What we gonna do? My mom, at just the epitome of strength. It's still almost unbelievable that she's not here physically, because I didn't realize until she left like how often I talked to her every day. And then it was an honor really to take care of her. But I never wanted to see her like find her dead. You know, I didn't want to ever walk in and
Yeah,
find her dead, or even see her take her last breath. But I was with her to the end, up until that last couple minutes. And somehow my bladder went off and I had to run to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, came back, she's gone. I said, "Are you serious?" You know, like literally looked at her like, "Are you serious? This is what you did to me?" But seriously, she has juggled and handled so many things in her lifetime. I witnessed, and I know there's so many things that I never witnessed, but I'm gonna tell you one. My mom actually had 9 kids. I know I said I'm the youngest of 6. She had 9. She lost 3 in a fire. And so 2 died instantly, and then 1 lingered on like a month later. To just to even fathom that, and then to, and this was just her not having, well, I won't even get into why, what happened. She wasn't there, but imagine, you're trying to find babysitters, so that's why I guess what, knowing that she would always talk about the tragedies, I didn't complain about being a babysitter. My mom was very passionate about the kids and loving up on them, making sure that they got food. No, I make sure they had clothes, make sure somebody was there, not leaving the kids at home, little ones at home by themselves. So that was an area that she was very sensitive about. And I know there was a deep hurt there, even up until the end of her life. But I'm happy she's with her kids, reunited with that.
yeah,
But just the fact that she could have stopped living, she could have went to depression and just kept moving. But she was busy. What she did was she went and like catapulted into purpose. And so my mom did church events, they're programs. She called them programs. So any, have you ever heard those 100 men in black and 100 women in
yeah.
red? Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, I'm rolling my eyes to it. But that was my mom all day. And then ushers, my mom was a part of the number one ushers, okay? Number one usher council there, but she was very, very active in the council, very active in her church. She put on programs. If the church needed money, she was fundraising queen. So she would go on and raise the money, have a program. That was her thing. I'm gonna have a program. And how do I know these things? Because I was her secretary. So I'm at school typing what you got the little fake nails on and you got the real typewriters that goes in between there and gets stuck in there. That's why I don't have wear those nails now. I'm like, listen, I got trauma, so they're cute and I can wear them. But no, seriously, she was able to still do those in marketing. She taught me. She put me in the car and drive me around. We went around church driving
Oh,
early
wow.
Sunday mornings or a Saturday or Sunday morning, but she knew what churches she wanted, what choirs she wanted. And I had to type up the letter. So she would drive me over to church. I get out of the car, go put the letter inside the church mailbox, slide under the door, go to the next church, go to the next place, and the next place, and pick up the phone, call these people, ask them, "Hey, I want you to render a selection here. I only want you to sing 2 songs. Don't be long. And this is the program." My mom was very structured like that, and don't have a long program. You don't need to be in here and jump for Jesus all night long to get it through, So here we go. This is what we're doing. And it was an orderly program. It was always in order. It was good. It was well attended. She always had a good turnout. So I saw her do this stuff and help raise the grandkids too, and provide a meal and for everybody to be able to come to this house during holidays and whatnot. Like, yeah, she's my hero,
Yeah, she
and
really is. Your mom really is a hero. Now, my hero was a combination of my grandmother and her father, my great grandfather. And my great grandfather is where I get the storytelling from, because that's what he used to do with
Tell
us.
stories.
Growing up, he used to tell stories all the
Mhm.
time, riddles, rhymes, all the time. So, and when we would walk around behind him in the backyard, he was always telling stories. So he is
Mm.
my hero, and I love that. But I do have a question about, real quick. When did you, at what point in your life did you decide that, hey, I'm gonna open up a school? And what's the name of the school? I think it's Sankofa.
So the name of the school is called Sankofa Training and Wellness Institute. So Sankofa means to go back and get it, or look, help those behind you, basically. Okay. But no, I never decided that I was going, or should I say, I never was determined to start a school. Okay, so number
Okay.
one, I was teaching in 2020 at a school here, and they just needed help. They needed nurses to come in, help with their program. I was intrigued that, you graduate from high school and get your CNA. I wish that that could have been me. I wouldn't have struggled some in my college years trying to, the first year. So I just like that opportunity. I love to have opportunities for youth. I've been mentoring teen girls for years now, over a decade. So what I did was I went in there and taught school. Pandemic happened, everything turned chaotic, um, and I didn't like the system or the way things were being done from the beginning before pandemic craziness happened. And then I still stuck it out throughout that system. And at the end, I have a great mentor who we both know, Miss Erica.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, okay, what is your heart saying? What is your heart saying? Like, really hone in to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, do I stay or do I go? She said, what is your heart saying? So I always like, she never tells me the answer, like, you figure it out right now. What is God telling you? It's already in our heart. And I said, I don't want to be there. I remember saying it like a big kid. I don't want to be there. I don't like the system. I can't do what I need to do. That jolt, that energy, that excitement I had, I can't do what I want in the capacity of these four walls. So I'm just going to create my own little program. That's what I said, quote unquote. I'm creating my own program. Well, I went, got papers, did research, and I said, I said, okay. And I literally was laughing. I said, this is a lot. This is a lot of work. I just want the stuff, I see people have the signs out here, become a CNA, be a CNA. And I'm just trying to do that. They said, yeah, this is what you have to do. So if you don't go through this way, then it's illegal. It's not a real, it's not put together. So I was forced to create a school because you can't just create the program. The program has to be in caps. You used to be able to do that years ago, many years ago, but now they have more systems and structure in place, and you have to create a school. So I like that idea because now I have way bigger possibilities, because I created the school. So, but that's what the CNA program is, one program inside of my school. And so the sky is the limit, really.
Wow, I love that, because oftentimes we go through our lives and some people have it planned out. I'm going to do this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Miss V the Storyteller is the same way. I didn't come and say, oh, I'm going to be a storyteller, I'm going to be a
Right.
podcast, so an author and all that stuff. I didn't say any of that, but
Mm-hmm.
it was something that God put into my
Purpose.
heart, and God said, this is what I want you to do. And so that's what I'm doing. So listen, I want to make sure that anyone that's out there that's listening to this episode and they're intrigued and they want to know more about the school, maybe they're thinking about becoming a nurse, or maybe a CNA, please tell us where we can um, find you, get some information, connect with you, because I know the school is new, but you're doing some great things. Suprena and I talked, and so it's hard on her, but like she said, she's resilient, and she's going to make sure that whatever the student is going to get what they need to get. So you're working on another class that's coming in. So please tell us, how can we connect with you, just in case we are thinking about it or we know someone who may need your services?
Well, good. Thank you for that. The school is Sankofa Training and Wellness Institute. For our CNA program, I have about 45 or 46 graduates now, and what 2 years. We haven't quite hit 2 years of graduating yet. Our first graduation class was in December 2022. So I think we're doing pretty good, but the school has been open 2 years. And then we've got two classes that's starting next week. So that and it's pretty much full. So you can go to www.sankofatraininginstitute.com. That's Sankof as in Frank A, sankofatraininginstitute.com. And you can go on the website, contact us there, Sankofa Training Institute on Facebook, Instagram. I have TikTok. I'm trying to get the kids trying to get me to go on that chat, but I'm bad. Otherwise, Suprena Hickman, you can find me Suprena Hickman. I do have a personal site as well, suprenahickman.com. All roads always going to lead to health, wellness, creativity, professional development. For
Perfect.
me, I'm an escape coach, so it's just about balancing, and I infuse that in my programs as well in my school.
So quick question. So you're in South Carolina, is that correct?
I'm in North Carolina.
North
So I'm
Carolina.
in, and I probably didn't say that. So I'm located in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is only a few hours up from Charleston, where I'm from.
Okay. So quick question. Say someone's out there. Do you have classes via Zoom or would they have to be in the area in order for it to take part of the school or
So
class?
you would have to be in the state of North Carolina.
Okay.
If you want to be in person, actually all in person. So I do have a program where I have people now who are traveling. God is amazing. It's just so much I could talk about, but I have people who travel now to take my course. And I have a weekend program now, a weekend accelerator as well as
Mm-hmm.
starting. So that's partially online and then also partially in person. So pretty much half of that time they're in person, they're online, half the other time doing it. That's designed for those Monday through Friday 9 to 5ers, and it's just hard for them to get into work, but they're trying to transition into healthcare. That's perfect opportunity for them. And then for the rest of them, I can do it a day or evening class, and normally it's 8 to 2:30. But listen, our program is 19 days. It's a
Okay.
19-day accelerated nurse aid program. And it's the only accelerated program that short. It's the quickest one in and around this county. I did that because we don't have to stretch it out. Now, there are people who need it stretched out, and I know the school system stretch it out for the year. And then you have the community colleges, they'll do it for like the semester. And there's a need for those. But for others who can grasp quickly and who can get in and out, this is what it's for. This is what it's about. And people are trying to work, and there are people trying to transition and get into healthcare. We got a shortage there, so we need the support. So there's no need to stretch it out. If you can get it in 19 days, get it in 19 days. So I just finished a class on Thursday, and almost all of them have already taken the first part of the exam and passed it.
Oh, that's
So
great.
yeah, it is. Somebody's taking one right now, actually, as we speak. So,
Well, that's
I'm
good.
certain she's going to be fine.
So that's good. I wanted to make sure I get that information out.
Yeah,
And if you
appreciate
need
it.
to contact or get in touch with, if you thinking to yourself, this is something that I really need, or I know someone who really needs this, I want you. The information is going to be in the notes, so you can go down. You can be able to click on and get in touch with Suprena. Suprena, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And listen, you guys, I want these stories to get out. So I need you to take a moment and go and push that like button. I need you all to like these episodes so that more people can hear and learn these stories from these amazing people. You can subscribe, you can like, all of that. So, Suprena, again, thank you for being here. You have been amazing, and we are just so grateful for you and your story and all that you do.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Y'all be blessed.